Good evening. Today's the 30th of June. It's almost 10 PM for me. This is my trade review for the day. So today, I should open up my pen. So today we had, let's just zoom out a bit as well so we can see. So today we had some data drop at 8:30, this area here, and I already pre-planned my levels for the day because I was running a bit late, so I did it early this morning. So I had an area here to buy to go long. So this is the MES 5-minute chart. Let's go into the hourly chart first. 1 hour. So we've had this big run up for the last few days. It's double bottom and we're in an uptrend, and I think I said yesterday's video that usually when we're coming into a holiday we see a nice big float up, and maybe I should have adhered to that because my day wasn't that great because I tried shorting quite too many times, shorting a grind up. But this is what I was seeing today. So we had this area in the last night, or the post market or the pre market this morning, and it was getting a lot of buyers coming in, and then we had a data drop. But what I did have was some levels already pre-drawn, and so based on the hourly chart I had 44.48 as a possible short, because there's this area of convergence where the bottoms of this candle meets the tops of these candles, which creates a natural area of resistance or support, and obviously we had the tops of these candles as well just here. So I was watching this area, and then similar I was watching this area here because we had the bottoms of these candles and the tops of these candles and the top of that candle. So I had a few zones, a few areas drawn off. I didn't draw my supply and demand zones like I normally do because I was away and I got back late. But I also had some areas where I didn't think it would get to. So I had this area here, which is the tops of some candles and middles, and I also had this area where we had a bit of a bounce, rejection a couple of weeks ago, and we had this pivot here as well. So I had a few levels drawn up, so I kind of knew what I wanted to do, and the idea was to wait for a pullback and take it long. And so I really wanted to get in. Ideally I was watching this area here for a pullback. I wanted to see it come back and then watch for confirmation bounce off of this 50 moving average as well for the long up. But what really happened, so now I'm going to go back to the 5-minute chart on the MES. So what really happened is I was watching the market this morning. I was away for some of it, so usually I'm around to see this bit in the morning, and I like to keep an eye on it because it gives me an idea of what to do, how the day's going to go. But I came back probably about here, and I saw it pulling back down to this area, and I was considering going long, but then I had this area drawn up as well, and we had a data drop, this big candle that came in, and so I took a short there. I took a couple of shorts there, and I was waiting for it to pull back, and it started to pull back. I was never in profit, didn't quite get to my profit area, and I wanted to come back down here and retest this area again, but it never did. It was too strong, and it consolidated for a bit before breaking out, and we had this breakout, and on the opening candle we saw it starting to pull back a little tiny bit, and what I really missed was the retest of that area. It pulled back, perfectly retested it, and it was off, and that was the lowest it was all day from the open. So I missed that area, and that should have been my buy, and that would have totally changed the way I thought about the market today. So because I missed it, I was adamant I wanted to catch some shorts. So I had a high risk short area here, and I believe in my video I mentioned it as well this morning in my trade plan. It's high risk, keep my stops tight, and I got in there and I didn't keep my stops tight. I saw the topping tails and I kept thinking it's going to reverse, and I knew I had this zone nearby as well, so I added. So this is a bad thing, I'm adding to a losing trade, and I added again up here, and I saw some profit. I took a little tiny bit of profit here, but not much, because I was waiting for the big pullback back down to the VWAP and this 50 moving average. And again, I wanted to come back to retest this area or this area here so I can go long. But anyway, it came back on me, and so I added again here. So I was in quite heavy at this point, normally more than what I normally want to be, and I think that's down to frustration and FOMO and revenge trading because of the stops I've had down here. And then around about midday, that's 5 p.m. my time. I on Fridays I take my little girl to the Scouts, so I was in good profit here because that's my average price was up here it was, and I was about here when I left, and so I put some stop orders in just to protect my profit. I think I put 3 or 4 stops in, and I was up about, I think I had about 10 contracts off MES at this point, and I was really hoping for it to come down here, and I had some limit orders at the VWAP, but as you can see, it never made it down to the VWAP, and it pulled back up, kind of like a little double bottom here, and I stopped out, and I was in profit, but I didn't put all my stops in, and I was a bit distracted. And when I got back from Scouts, my daughter, it was here, so all the profit I made here was largely wiped out by the fact of I didn't put my stop in, and I was now in the red on the other half of the trade. So I think I had 4 contracts here, all came out, and I had 6 contracts left up here, and I probably should have stopped out immediately, just taking no mistake, because I was in profit still, because the move was bigger down and it was coming back up, so I was in more profit. But what I did instead is I had this level as well, and I added again. Technically it's a winning trade here, but up here it's a losing trade or break-even trade. And so I added along here, I think I added on that pivot there, I added up here, I added there, I added there, and I added there, and I was in quite heavy. I think I had 12 contracts at the end. 12, might have been even 14 contracts, but I was waiting for this big red candle to come in, and I was expecting it to come in at 3 o'clock or around about, because everyone's going off for the weekend. They wanted to sell off, go off, have a good weekend with their money made from the market. It's been running up for a few days, and it never came. It was grinding sideways but up slightly, and the only reason I stayed in was because of these topping tails there and there, and we were close to this 4500 area, which was a massive area on Bookmap, and it was totally red, that area, so I knew there's lots of sellers and lots of orders waiting up there. And the other reason was I had this level marked of 44.93, which was a previous high, and going back, let's just have a look, going back to a couple of weeks on the hourly. Yeah, so we had this high, so it's this pivot here marked off, which I looked at earlier, and so I was expecting a big rejection here, and in my plan it was a full size rejection, taking layering in, so going up. So I didn't really come off my plan, but it's more down to frustration and trading than anything. But thankfully, I even added when it came back up here as well. So thankfully, we saw this big red profit taking candle, and my first out was there. Then I had another one just below that area because I wanted to see it break down from this area, and then I took profit here as well, and then the rest I held into the post market. I took out some around here, and a few minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, I closed my position there because it looked like it might have been coming back up, and I just want to be done for the day. Long day, it's like almost 10 p.m. for me, so it ended up well. But the moral of the story is I ended the day on a green day, but I traded poorly all day, and didn't really follow my plan. I didn't follow my plan for layering in, getting in larger sizes and higher probability plays. I probably should have walked once I lost out there and I lost out here, and I maybe should have left it for the day. But you know, I hate being wrong, and here's another thing. I saw this top come in with a lower low, with a high, and then I saw this higher high, and this slightly lower high, and so in my mind, I was hell bent on shorting the market because I thought it was going to do that. And so I think that's why I left all my positions. That's why I went to scout to my daughter with my stops in place there, because I wasn't expecting it to come back. And I obviously know better than the market and didn't do very well today. So moving forward, I need to identify these grind up days better, because this is the second time this week now I've had a really bad trade. Luckily today I recovered it through this move, but on Monday I think it was Monday, we had a grind up day, and it was a big losing day for me because I don't know how to handle these grinding ups. I really need to be looking. I even identified it to myself this morning that we want to go for a long. You know, we're above the moving average, we're above the VWAP. Here we're above the 50 and the 8, and I'm trying to short there and there, and it's too strong a market to short in. And I've always found when the days grind up, it's really hard trying to get through these levels. But on days where we get big candles, so for example, if we get days like this candle, and another candle like that, another candle like that, and then usually then we get a bit of a reaction at that point. It comes down. But it's just when we get the small candles and it's just grinding up all day long, it's very, very difficult. It may come back to these areas like you saw here, and it keeps going and going and going. And they're the days I need to be better at and identify them. Anyway, that's my trade review for today. Started off bad. This area was very bad, but this area was quite good. So I made up for the losing day, but I did it the wrong way, and it's not a way I want to do it. I'm not proud of the way I traded. Anyway, long weekend, so almost 4 days off for most people. I will probably be around Monday for the half day, and I will probably be keeping an eye on the trades on Tuesday, because even though the US market's closed, I think the futures are still open, and and the UK market's open, so I'll keep an eye on it, but the volume will be a lot lower, so I probably won't trade much at all Monday and Tuesday, but I'll be keeping an eye on it, because if I see any obvious levels, let's have a quick look, see what we can look forward to next week. Next week we can look forward to the rejection of this double top. I think we're going to see a bit of a movement down. Let's go into the daily. Okay, so that's our next big area. So we've got this area here, and obviously we've got this big daily rejection area. So this will be a big area. I think we're going to see a lot of movement, a lot of volatility next week, and obviously moving into the second half of the year. Hopefully it'll be better than the first half, because it's been a bit of a mixed first half of the year. And let's have a look at the SPY. SPY, yeah, we've got that area there, and that's our next area. If we run up, we're currently sitting just there, I believe. Oh no, or this area here, because there's an area of convergence. So we've got the tops of these candles, the bottom of these candles, the tops and bottoms and tops. So that's an area, a target area, a daily area to watch for. 444, no, 449.60 and 443.89, or probably 444 really. And that's where we are actually right now. Okay, so there we are. So they're the areas we're watching for next week, and we might see a bit of a rejection come back down. We've got a gap to fill as well on this SPY. So if we do see a rejection Monday or Tuesday, maybe coming back down to the 440, what level is this? 440 area, 439, 438, we might see a bit of a reaction in that area as well. So for now, I will update you again on Monday. Have a good day. Bye bye.